Well, we survived the start of 2024, week one under our belts. Hopefully you guys are having a better start to your Monday than several front office and coaching staffs around the NFL, including our very own here in Philly. And hopefully you're also off to a better start than Joe Corey after a very interesting...
He's in the news?
Yeah, because he decided to try to be a comedian in the Golden Globes. No, but he decided to try too hard to be one. And it was
Did you watch the Golden Globes?
No, I just saw the...
So is he like getting canceled or he just did a bad job?
It was just very bad.
Really?
His jokes were awful.
Because I have watched a stand-up or two.
And they were very forced and the delivery was rough and it just was not good.
Yeah, my buddy, I got a text about him this morning and he said he made a forced sushi joke that wasn't that funny.
Yeah, and listen,
I've seen his stand-up and he's not bad. He's not like great. He's not bad.
He claims he only had like 10 days to prepare and whatever. I don't know. My thing is if your jokes aren't working, just stop trying. Just lead the award show.
I learned last night, thanks to our own Julia, who his ex-girlfriend is. Did you know this? A little bit of information. Him and Chelsea Handler were a thing for a while.
Oh, that's an interesting couple. I don't think I like it. I'm glad they're not together anymore.
I don't have any real feelings about either of them.
I just think it's a weird match. He seems like a very interesting man, so yeah. Okay. Well, that being said, welcome into the chat. Hey, welcome into PHLY Phillies podcast.
It's
Tyler Zulli, Jamie Lynch, Renee Washington, and we're not talking Eagles. We're talking Phillies. We've got 34 days until pitchers and catchers. John Sequella's in the chat saying that. Chris, welcome. Dave, I think you were actually our first comment. I'm not sure if Tyler can scroll up real quick.
Y'all.
Tyler. Hello, Tyler. We're doing a show. It was Marshall.
Sorry, trying to get this.
Marshall was not first.
Trying to get all of our behind-the-scenes stuff put together.
It's fine. Yeah. Marshall Mock, first one in. Bring on the Phillies season.
Sounds like a case of the Mondays,
welcome.
Tyler.
Everyone's having a case of the Mondays because we're here, guys. We made it. Week number 2 of 2024. We've got a lot to get into. You're not
going to say like happy second Monday of 2024, are you?
Actually, I was, but it's fine. You already did it for me. So, hypothetical man, spiral out. What's up, guys? Hit that like button. Join the comments. So, because we are officially we've settled into the new year. It's kind of like last week was like you walk in the front door, you're saying your hellos. We've now taken off our coats and shoes and we're getting comfortable. So, in week 2, we're going to also now introduce a lot of new things for you guys here on PHLY Phillies podcast because we're all ready to talk Phillies. We're already talking baseball. Spring training's coming up soon. As you know, we'll all be taking our very own trip down to spring training. You guys can join us in Clearwater. We've got our PHLY road trip happening. That's going to be a lot of fun as we'll be down for the week in March. Chrissy, if you need a spring training trip, we've got you. Come on down with us.
Joe Coy for offensive coordinator.
I love it, John. Yeah. I love it. So because of the new year, we're starting new things. We're having some new segments. We'll introduce those as the show goes on. But first, we've got to just jump into, of course, what's happened in this past weekend across the Phillies and some updates that we've seen. Now, let's start up with our guy up in Boston, the one and only Yoshida, who's been reported to be included as apparently the Red Sox are looking to make some moves. So Masataka Yoshida was one of the names that have been brought up that the Red Sox are considering trading. I know Ken Rosenthal, Jen McCaffrey reported on it. And according to various people, the reports are saying that the teams have remained engaged in talks that could significantly alter their outfield alignment. And Yoshida's been one of those names that have been brought up. Now, as we know or may not know, Yoshida's been someone that's been connected to the Phillies in a unique way because of his obsession with Bryce Harper, allegedly. So as Jamie and I were talking about before, and Jamie was like, yeah, by the way, he fully named his dog after Bryce Harper.
Harper. That's not even a good dog name.
It's not a great dog name. Harper would be a cute dog name, though. Come here, Harp.
No,
but Harper's like not a...
I mean, I guess you go Harp for short.
But
I don't know.
But you don't name your dog after somebody else that you play. And that's just weird. It just doesn't make sense. So I know you and Tyler have opposite opinions on possibly having the Phillies pursue Yoshida.
Yeah, mine stems from the good majority of my life. We've had the worst left field defensive outfield play for the majority of it. You went from Pat Burrell to Rhys Hoskins, and luckily they aborted on that one quickly, to Kyle Schwarber now the past 2 years. By default, that wasn't the plan, but I am just really over, and Andrew McCutchen held it down there for a couple years, but even him, he was kind of past his prime and not the same fielder he once was, but looked like a gold glover compared to the rest of them. Yoshida just isn't a good defensive player. and he's not cheap. So, like, I think you can address the outfield position in other ways. He's still owed 4 years and just shy of $100 million. I think he's like 18.5 a year. Not to mention that you'd have to give something to get something. And for me, usually when a team is selling a piece after, has he been 2 years there or just one?
No, just the one.
Just the one is what I thought. Okay, I thought for a second it might have been two. When a team is trying to sell a piece after a year, I don't know. That just that raises the smell test meter a little bit for me, and that doesn't really. And I know the Red Sox are kind of rebuilding, and you can spin it that way if you want, but like I don't know. Like, wouldn't they want to hold on to him for 4 more years if he's a decent enough player? Tyler, I think, has some interest in him. For the record, I'm out. I just think you can find other quality-ish pieces that aren't as expensive and probably can give you better defense.
Okay, well,
he was a negative, 1.1 defensive WAR player last year. It's just, it's not that hard to find competent outfielders.
Yeah,
I think you can do better.
Yeah, I think on that's a key point too. It's like there's no need to try to force a piece that doesn't make sense. It is very concerning that after just one season, the Red Sox are already talking about possibly shipping him out. I know in 140 games played, he had just over 530 at-bats. His splits are 289, 338, 445, 783. He hit 15 home runs.
It's all promising.
Offensively,
it's good. It's
fine.
fine.
And that's before you even get to the questionable behavior around Bryce. Depending on how serious any of that is,
skin.
Depending on how serious any of that is, I don't think you would want to add a guy in that's already possibly obsessed with Bryce Harper.
He gives me the impression like he's going over to Bryce's hat and like trying to like
you don't need a creepy person in the
for
clubhouse. It just makes it uncomfortable. I mean, as we know, chemistry is so important, all jokes aside. And if there's even the potential, like we've talked about, there's other people that have talked about it, and Bryce knows about it, and that's an interesting teammate. You don't really want one of those guys. So,
and the hypothetical man brings up another good point too. This team needs a righty, not another lefty.
Yeah,
so
very true.
For those reasons, to quote the great Shark Tank, I'm out. But Tyler, I know you have more interest than I do.
Well, yeah, I do, because I think even at 30, his first major league season was very promising. Now,
I would say that
the first half and second half splits were a little bit. I wouldn't say concerning. They weren't concerning, but they were definitely different. And I mean, he finished with a near 290 average. So my question to you is, like, we've talked about these players that could potentially be the left field, at least, I don't want to say replacement, but the left field
insurance policy.
Yeah, whatever you want to call it. Do either of you show interest in Jorge Soler?
I actually do a little bit.
If the other option is nothing, then yes.
Because here's my thing. I know it's only going to cost you money compared to making a move for Yoshida, so I understand that value holds water.
He's not a good defensive player either.
He's a minus 1.5.
Yeah, so.
At least last year he was. I mean,
but the pop is much stronger.
I was going to say with Jorge Soler, and actually it was Teoscar Hernández was the other one before he got taken off the board by the Dodgers.
We'll get to those greedy bastards.
I actually was looking at those two because it does at least help on one side of the ball. Now, as you talk about being a minus, that's a concern to me. But if he can give you good at bats, and I think I would take it. But I feel like the other part is, what outfielders are we seeing that don't come with baggage, negative baggage at that?
Well, at this point, yeah.
Like at this point, there's
beggars can't be choosers,
right? And that's what I feel like the issue is. You're looking at essentially the best of the rest of who would you rather have. No one's that you're going to get is going to come with, perfect at bats, and on the other side of the ball be a good outfielder. But I think Jorge Soler, if I had to choose who's left, I would take Jorge Soler.
I would much rather give Jorge Soler a 1 or 2 year deal as opposed to 4 years of Yoshida at 18.5. One, he's a right-handed bat, which I think the lineup needs more than another lefty. And two, 36 home runs last year.
Yeah.
A lot more pop, which I think you need in the outfield. When you have Castellanos, Marsh, and Rojas, that is a popless outfield. So if you bring in Soler, it gives you that, DH. Harper can maybe play left field occasionally. Kind of like how we talked about Reese. Like Harper, if he is still willing to play occasionally in the outfield, Soler can play the outfield for you, but DH sometimes. I'd rather have Soler than Yoshida,
Yeah. No, I agree. I think it makes sense to me that Yoshida isn't a name that's being shopped out, but Phillies don't take the bite. Don't take the bait in that sense.
Oh, can you share the creepy picture, actually, Tyler? I didn't ask you pre-show. If you Google Yoshida and Bryce Harper.
Just share the creepy picture.
Well, there's one of him in a Phillies jersey with his dog in a Phillies jersey, a Harper jersey.
That's just weird.
And then there's another one where he basically forced to meet up with Harper before the Fenway.
So for these reasons, there's no reason.
It weirds me out a little bit.
Yeah, for these reasons, I don't want him in Philly because these are not. You need good clubhouse people and someone that
might be
is
a fine
going.
Guy,
I mean, maybe this is a joke. Maybe this is his version of a Joe Coy type of a joke of like, look at me being funny. I'm in a Phillies.
He's committing
this is
to
his
a
bit. He's really committing to it. But I just think it's a little questionable.
The
it's
dog
excessive.
is pretty cute.
No, it's just weird though. It's just very weird. No, this is too much. And it's like those JCPenney photo shoot looking images. Like
it does look like a JCPenney backdrop.
It's giving he seems like a nice guy. He's got a nice smile, but it's creepy smile is what it's giving me. I don't like it at all, actually, because what else is next to him? Is that a tree?
Baseball balloons.
Oh, so is it like a baseball themed party maybe for someone like his dog, where he decided to dress up as Bryce? That's baseball. That's why I was like, what is happening around him? It is giving a baseball themed party where he chose to dress as Bryce. But what makes it weirder is you're in the majors. It's one thing if you're like,
I think he was still over in Japan at the time.
Okay, okay, I'll give him that.
It's still
that's still weird.
And there's the baseball balloons.
No,
it's adorable, Renee.
No, it's not adorable. It's giving too much. It's a little too much. And I'm good. I'm good on that. But also something that was pretty interesting as we talked about MLB Nerds last week, and we did a little deep dive into top pitchers that MLB Nerds had listed. I started
following them now.
Yeah, and they have great. I like the fact they're putting out great content around just top by position, and it makes you think, it makes you talk, it makes you curious about it. They do have JT Realmuto as the number 8 catcher heading into 2024. Listen, not number 1, but top 10. JT, I think this year, as we've talked about before, but just JT specifically, this is a good year for JT. This is a big year for JT to really show. He's had a lot of mileage on the tank. He's been a steady catcher. We like JT Realmuto, but this is a big year for him.
Yeah, I think it was his first substantial drop-off type of season. And hello, Mags Rivera in the chat. Welcome in.
Hey.
Make sure everybody's hitting that like button while you're in here. But yeah, I think while one of the better catchers in baseball, I don't think you can say best catcher in baseball anymore. As MLB Nerds laid out, it's a pretty good list. And when a guy like Adley Rutschman is entering the league in what, Tyler, 24 years old? Maybe?
Yeah.
Maybe even younger, right?
I don't know how old he is off the top of his head.
But
head.
His prime is still very much
25 now.
25.
There's a lot of really talented 25-year-olds in the league.
And catcher's a young man. Yeah. That's a young man's game.
One day we're gonna maybe do a deep dive, because now that I think about it, we often find ourselves saying a guy is still young and they're 25, which is interesting that the next generation of talent. But go ahead.
Oh man, what I'd give to be 25 again. But yeah,
I didn't really love 25 actually.
I mean, just like physically.
Oh, okay.
Like my back wouldn't give out when I reach into the back.
25 is like a
car.
Weird tweener age in general, but physically, yes, I would.
I believe it's when your brain fully develops.
I could see that.
It takes 25 years
for
the
men or for women though, because I feel like
me and
for
Jamie's
women,
still waiting on that to happen.
Yeah, I was gonna say for men or for women.
Well,
no offense, men, but I feel like
I think it was
yours happens later.
It was probably men, because I remember I tied it to a Ben Simmons subject in my prior life as a topic one day, where I was drinking the Ben Simmons Kool-Aid still, and I was still believing. And I was like, well, it's his 25th birthday. This is the time when his brain reaches max capacity and the frontal lobe fully develops and maturity and all those things start to settle in. And I was like, this is the year. He's going to take that leap. Yeah, it was a very cerebral topic by me, if I do say
look
so.
at you. Deep diving into the brain.
Yeah.
I like it.
So Adley Rutschman just entering his prime. It's tough to argue these guys ahead of him. Tyler, speak if you have any objections of the top 7 ahead of JT. Adley Rutschman 1, Will Smith 2, William Contreras 3, Sean Murphy 4. Had him on my fantasy baseball team last year. Had a really nice year. Cal Raleigh number 5.
So Cal Raleigh is probably
the 3 you can start to make
one
arguments.
that I probably object to, and it's not because I think Cal Raleigh's a bad player. Cal Raleigh's got pop, man. Cal Raleigh can hit, strikes out a lot, but he can hit. The issue with him,
JT's a better catcher.
Don't know. I don't know how much longer he's a catcher. Period. I think he started getting more and more days and at bats in the DH spot for Seattle as the last 2 seasons now have gone on. I'm not so sure how much longer he's an everyday catcher before he becomes a DH.
Yeah.
So listen, I think Cal Raleigh's got a lot of pop, and I think he can hit. And I just don't know from a catcher productivity standpoint how much more he gives you.
Number 6, Jonah Heim from the Rangers. No speak up there out of Tyler. Number 7, Patrick Bailey from the Giants.
Yeah, I don't buy this one.
So you only have 2 that you would possibly argue.
Yeah, I would probably put JT. I think I would probably put JT 5th heading into the year. Now, I will say this.
So you would have. Do you agree with that order? Rutschman, Smith, Contreras, Murphy, and then Heim, Real Muto up for debate in the 5th.
I think that I would move. I think I would move Smith and I would flip Smith and Contreras. But there's one name on here that needs to be on here that I'm stunned that is not.
What's that?
I can't believe Gabby Moreno's not on this list.
Oh, yeah.
He was really good.
Well, I don't know if I don't know why he didn't make top 10, actually. That is surprising.
Ryan Jeffers is 9, and Diaz from the Astros is 10. So there you have it. JT comes in MLB Nerds list and number 8. Our own baseball nerd Tyler would only argue 2 guys ahead of him that don't belong.
Solid.
So JT,
but I also think Jonah Heim should be higher up too. I think 6 is low for him.
Yeah, that's what John was like. Where's Jonah Heim on this list? He's number 6, but I definitely could see him being higher as well.
Yeah. So regardless, JT's probably still a top 5 or 6 catcher in baseball.
I would love to, because I know that the 3 of us are going to start putting our groupings together a little bit later in the offseason. I'd love to see the comps for not just between the 3 of us, but between lists that get published like this. Because, I mean, this has almost 300,000 views on it.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, we
JT,
will have.
But he could bounce back. He could be due for that bounce back year. Last year, I don't think is him, to your point about, like, struggling a little bit last year. He still has that possibility of bouncing 32 years back.
Old. This could be a great year from a bounce back year at that.
He showed no sign of slowing down, like,
he didn't.
physically.
We saw moments that you wouldn't even have. Yeah, he definitely was like, whoa, JT. And actually, I felt like he improved in some areas, but we'll see. And then also today, as we're talking about 32, his teammate Jeff Hoffman turned 31 today. Happy birthday to Jeff Hoffman. Jeffrey Hoffman at that. Jeffrey Robert Hoffman, who was born in Latham, New York, turns 31 today. He was born in 93. He played baseball at East Carolina University. Of course, before the Phillies, he played with the Rockies, the Reds, and we want to wish our very own Jeff Hoffman, who finished the season 5-2 with a 2.41 ERA and a 9.17 WHIP, a very merry, happy birthday. Welcome to 31. 30 fun. It's fun here, right, Tyler, in the 30s, as you were still sore from your workout?
This sucks. I hate it. I want to go back.
So what do you think? Jeff Hoffman, a repeat or a drop-off?
I think a repeat. I
Tyler,
feel like maturity level alone, he's got, like, you get that rhythm down.
Repeat or drop-off?
I mean, it depends on what do you consider a drop-off? Like the significant drop-off?
Yeah,
no.
like significant.
No,
not like a minor.
I think probably a small step backwards.
Okay.
But I don't think it's going to be like you're not getting to, oh my God, this guy can't pitch in high leverage. I just think that like he was really, really good last year.
Yeah.
Can he duplicate it?
That's tough
the hardest part of being great. I'm going to say slight drop off as well.
Okay.
Not like unusable drop off, but maybe not complete confidence in high leverage spots.
All right. Well, you know where you don't have to worry about a drop off ever, Jamie. That's over at Bagels & Co. Bagels & Co. gives you delicious variety of bagels. They have 15 to 20 different types of bagels you can choose from daily. They're fresh. They're large. They also have 30 different flavors of cream cheese that you can combine it with. So with their different cream cheeses, they like to have seasonal flavors, maybe holidays, specific sports teams, Phillies, Flyers, Sixers, and they do a lot of work right here in Philly in our very own backyard to provide you with the very best breakfast option. So Brooklyn-style bagels made in Philly. You don't have to worry about trekking up to New York to be able to get the best bagels. You can get them right here. They've got the mom and pop feel, but they give you more of that affordable brand, delicious brand, and also great quality. And honestly, as someone that had their pork and egg, which I can't stop raving about their pork and egg on a rainbow bagel.
You're starting to get
with
it.
no cheese, of course. That was delicious. And honestly, it was hearty, it was meaty, it was great, it was everything. So I definitely recommend that you check out Bagels & Co. We had a chance to meet them.
This morning.
Oh no.
Yeah.
I had sausage and hash browns and
That's pretty
yogurt
good.
and
It's not
toast.
like you were slumming it.
No.
Yeah.
Breakfast is big for me. That's why I say go over to Bagels & Co. and take advantage of their breakfast options. Because with the best Brooklyn-style bagels made right here in Philly, you can head to thebagelsandco.com, find the location nearest you, and make sure to take advantage so that you can start your day right. Breakfast is the most important meal of the day. Get it started with Bagels & Co. They are a great group of people, and they also like to make sure to provide you with the best options to kick off your day. Breakfast is the most important meal of the day, Jamie.
Bagels,
it sets the tone.
Let's not put bagels in a corner here, Renee, because I am a big proponent of the bagel lunch sandwich as well.
Bagel lunch is great also. What do you get on your bagel lunch?
Bagels are versatile. They don't just do breakfast. They can do lunch and dinner as well. And maybe when I'm going to a concert in a couple weeks.
Yeah, they are good dinner as well.
Yeah. I'll throw a bagel in my back pocket as my wife got me concert tickets, and she was smart enough to listen to me here on PHLY, and she used the Game Time app. So maybe next Thursday when we're going to this new band, I'll sneak a couple bagels in my back pocket. I'll sneak them in so I don't have to, pay the cost inside. I'll just have bagels on me. Like I keep that thing on me. But yes, she used Game Time app and you should too. Use code PHLY for $20 off your first purchase. Buying tickets, don't stress over it. It should never be a stress in your life. Just use Game Time. It's the easiest way to get tickets to all the sports, music, comedy, and theater events near you. They have killer deals on last-minute tickets, a best price guarantee, so you can stop stressing and start enjoying all the fun you're going to have from the tickets you got on the Game Time app. One of my favorite features is the image of the seat views, so you know exactly where you're going to be sitting for the event, depending on what type of event it is, what type of venue it is. You can forget planning months in advance. Game Time guarantees mean you're always going to get the best price. If you find tickets in the same section and row for less somewhere else, Game Time will credit you 110% of the difference. Buy tickets in a matter of seconds. Just 2 taps and you're set. They're sent directly to your phone, so you never have to dig through your email. So snag the tickets without the stress with Game Time. Download the Game Time app. Just simply create an account and use code PHLY for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Just create that account and redeem code PHLY for $20 off. Download Game Time today. Last minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed.
All right. Well, with that, there's some other Phillies news that happened from this past weekend as the Phillies have signed Lachlan Wells, 26-year-old from Newcastle, Australia, to a minor league contract. Lachlan, who had taken some time off in baseball, is returning back, now gets a minor league contract. And I know Lachlan was speaking to the Australia outlet. Yeah, he was speaking to an interview on YouTube that I checked out. And he was just talking about how excited he is to get back. He knows a lot of former teammates that have played with the Phillies as well. And he just is very familiar. And he was saying he feels like in his career right now, at 26 years old, he's matured enough to a point where he understands, the importance of what decision he was to make. He's fallen in love with the game again. He's happy to be able to get back into this opportunity. And he's looking forward to it. And for Lachlan, he had 7 starts with the Adelaide Giants. He had a .73 ERA and 37 innings pitched with a .7 whip, 46 strikeouts, and he's just excited to get back to competing and the challenges that come with it. And Lachlan is a lock. I like that name, though, actually.
It is good.
He seems like he's a good guy. His story's pretty unique, and I'm pretty intrigued by this, actually.
So I know everybody here in the chat, you, me, Tyler, we were all tied to the Adelaide Giants games last year.
Yeah, for sure.
Couldn't miss a start where Lachlan was going. But this is exactly the type of moves you should be making with minor league contracts.
Yeah.
Somebody with high upside. He was with the Twins organization for 4 years, went back to Australia, took a year off, as you said, kind of lost that love for the game, and then came back this year and was pretty phenomenal. Now, you take this with a grain of salt because the Australian Baseball League, Tyler and Vince were having a real nerdy discussion before the show, trying to rank where the Australian Baseball League falls in the pecking order of baseball leagues around the world. And I think you guys came to the conclusion maybe 12th was the best case.
I think it was probably, for me, a little bit higher, but we were trying to compare it to, like, is it better than... So, like, the three at the top, obviously it's not MLB, it's not Korea, it's not Japan.
No.
Is it better than AAA?
No.
It's better than AA?
No.
Is it better than high A?
That's maybe starts to become a good debate there.
So forget any other professional league, even just within
NCAA is probably
even
better.
just within the rankings of baseball
Mexican
in
leagues
the
better.
United States. Comparably, it's like fifth.
So take all of this with a grain of salt,
Right.
Very much so.
but worth a risk. Apparently, there were 7 other teams interested in signing him, so that tells you something.
Yeah.
But his numbers last year with the Adelaide Giants, I don't care what league it is, even if it was a hard throwing men's league across the bridge, this is still pretty good. In 37 innings pitched, he had a .73 ERA with a .70 WHIP and 46 strikeouts in those 37 innings. They won every game that he started. Opponents hit just 167 off of him. He was with the Twins 2015 to 19, posted a 3.02 ERA and 253 minor league innings. Pitched in the World Baseball Classic in 2017 as a pup, a 17-year-old. So
20 years old.
No downside to making this move.
Yeah.
Is he going to make the big league club? Probably not, but there's a shot. Like maybe he finds his Hoffman gear where he like unlocks something, and who knows? If he makes it, that's just gravy on top.
Yeah, I mean, as a left-handed pitcher that has had kind of an up and down, an interesting career, it is always interesting to me when a player has taken time to step away and gets rejuvenated. There's one or two ways I feel like that, or multiple ways it can go, but sometimes you kind of need that break to get away. And he talked about his passion for the game, his love for the game has been sparked, has been rejuvenated since taking that time away, and maybe needed that chance to just kind of reflect on what was important to him and what kind of person he wanted to be. As we talk about 25 being a pivotal age, he's 26 years old. He's at a pivotal point, quarter of a century in his life, where Lachlan Wells was trying to figure out, okay, do I want to continue playing? Do I want to maybe go in a different direction? And for Wells, who has a twin brother, Alex Wells, also, which I thought,
Oh man, you go from Laughlin to
his
to Alex.
Okay, so his name is not.
Cool name to
it's Lachlan. His brother Alex plays baseball as well. It's Lachlan Robert Wells, and his brother Alex Wells also plays baseball.
Yeah. If I'm Alex, why did he get the cool name?
Plays. He's Alexander James Wells.
Well, strong middle name. I'll give him that.
Of course, you like that middle name.
Yeah.
He plays with the Norfolk Tides, a AAA affiliate. So also, baseball runs in the family. Him and twin brother Alex are both playing baseball, and for Lachlan to have a chance to, see and evaluate, I think it also allows him to have a better appreciation for this opportunity, which is always a good thing when a guy not only gets an opportunity, but is fully appreciating it and ready to make the most of it. So with a minor league contract to the Phillies, we'll see how these numbers pan out. As you mentioned, having pitched with the Twins, with the Adelaide Giants at that, what this opportunity is going to look like.
The best piece of news
Lachlan.
from this is that 7 other teams were interested in him. Like, that's what I took away is like, all right, this is good. This is not, and this is,
Tyler.
good. Like the Phillies are thinking outside of their box. They're going more international these days. And they have, I think, 6 or 7 Aussies in the system, including the low A manager. I know you made reference to. He said that was a big part of it. Familiarity, comfortability. So he's going to be pitching through February with Adelaide, finishing the season here, and then just joining the team in spring training. Which Renee, it's only 34 days away from pitchers and catchers. The great Jason Stark yesterday, after the Eagles just got their doors blown off, tweeted.
Who? We don't talk about them.
This football team apparently people are interested in. But Jason Stark tweeted out the February and March spring training calendar, and he said it's not that far away.
Don't worry, guys.
Warm thoughts.
Yes, warm thoughts are here.
And and Tyler and I were looking up tomorrow's prospect that we're going to talk about. And yes, those warm thoughts. You can join us on a trip to Clearwater. If you go to allphly.com, you can find the details on the trip, March 13th to 18th. And yes, I'm very much thinking about it because we were looking up tomorrow's prospect to find out how to pronounce his name. And it was just like, it was a highlight of a spring training game. And it was just like blue weather. And like you could see the warmth in the camera. And it was just like, today's actually not that bad out, but like I just hate winter.
Well, it also is great if you are feeling a little down in the dumps right now and you're looking for something that you can get excited about and look forward to, that you can also plan to come down to spring training. And for us to be able to go, and for anybody else who's tagging along with us and we'll be down in Clearwater, it gives you something to look forward to. Okay, come mid-March, as we're getting ready for St. Patrick's Day, we're also getting ready to go down in Clearwater. I'm a big holiday person, clearly.
Wait, we will be in there for St.
I
Patrick's
know.
Day. Perfect storm.
Bring your green. And so that'll be even something, you need to have those things on the calendar to look forward to that can help you get through the ups and the downs of what is that football team. So also some other news.
The NFL season ended like 4 weeks ago.
Yeah, it's over.
You didn't get the memo?
It's over. It's been over. It's over for a lot of teams, actually, including ours. So also elsewhere around Major League Baseball, there's been some news and updates. Let's start with Sean Manaea. The Mets and left-hander Sean Manaea are in agreement for a 2-year deal worth $28 million guaranteed. That news broke this past weekend. The deal comes with an opt-out following the 2024 season. At 32 years old, Manaea gets to go over to the Mets. Solid. We talked about Sean Manaea on the show before. And then also we saw the Dodgers doing some Dodgers things again. The LA Dodgers and Teoscar Hernández have come to an agreement. That one was frustrating for a couple of reasons.
One-year deals in baseball.
Not at all. So a 1-year, $23.5 million contract. And with that, there are some incentives in Teoscar Hernández's deal. $1 million if he wins a Silver Slugger, $500,000 if he finishes 11th to 15th in MVP voting, $2 million if he finishes in 6th to 10th in MVP voting, and $3 million, you guessed it, if he finishes 1st to 5th in MVP voting. And that was just released today per sources, and Fabian Ardea was the one that dropped that news on Twitter. So Teoscar Hernández, a 1-year deal with some big incentives if he's able to reach any of those marks. And the Dodgers just continue to add to their list of Shohei Ohtani, Yoshinobu Yamamoto, Tyler Glasnow, in addition to who they already had, and Mookie Betts and Freddie Freeman.
It's more money than I would have guessed he got, but as I always say,
have a lot of money.
There's no bad 1-year deals in Major League Baseball. So they overpaid probably to keep him on that 1-year deal. The Dodgers are just kind of making a mockery of this competitive tax balance fairness act. This is crazy. Yes, they have a lot of money, and money doesn't guarantee you championships, but damn, they just keep adding. And Teoscar's a guy I know we talked about during the course of the hot stove. I wanted here, a higher strikeout rate than you were probably looking for.
I wanted him here too.
But has a little bit of pop. I think he makes you a better team. The Dodgers go and get him on top of... They're just being gluttonous at this point.
Well, as Jeff Passan also reported shortly after dropping the news about the deal of his $23.5 million deal with the Dodgers, $8.5 million of it will be deferred to be paid out from 2030 to 2039. It's 2024. We're already talking about 2030 to 2039. That's wild to think about. It's a very long time from now, but it's not that long.
I go back and forth. Like, I love the free market nature of baseball, that there's no salary cap. But sometimes I see stuff like this. And I do think super teams are good for the game because, it's good to have heels in sports. But at the same time, I go like, man, should they think about a salary cap? Like, this is getting out of control.
This is wild.
Are you rooting for their failure like I am yet?
I'm fully rooting for their failure. Bob Nightingale tweeted out, the Dodgers have now spent $1.605 billion. I can't even read that number.
It's not a real number.
It's not a real number this winter in free. But who's counting? I mean, it just at this point, it's gotten out of control. I know people are saying like the Dodgers are ruining the sport. The league needs to do something. We're absolutely going to probably see some adjustments after all of this. It might not be as immediate as this upcoming year because it might take some time to talk it through. But the Dodgers are finessing the monopoly money out of this world.
Yeah,
right
I don't
now.
think it would ever like go to a salary. You see that?
You're being attacked by a floating fuzzy.
By a rogue fuzzy just like floating in front of me.
It's karma because you're always vacuuming the floor and the fuzzies have come after you.
I don't think they're ever going to go like to the extreme of adding a salary cap. That was my ADD. I'm sorry. I had a fuzzy like hovering right in my eyes.
I'm not going to lie to you.
The great war of Studio B. The fuzzies versus
I got so scared because you were like, did you see that? And I was like, whoa.
Do you ever see the pranks online where you like you psych out your significant other or friend?
I was going to try to do that one day on the show.
And then I need to start doing this to you because I feel like you'd be a good reactor to.
So when you did that, I was like, oh, I was ready to run. I don't know where I was going to run because there's a wall to my side.
Yeah.
But.
So maybe I'll start doing that to Renee more on the show. Just start bugging her out.
No. We're good. I immediately look at Tyler because Tyler's my cushion for everything ridiculous that you do.
You don't want to look at me for too long because most of the time I'm just giving you two dirty looks. Like
wrap up. Nobody cares about burritos.
You know the rock eyebrow raise?
Yeah,
That's me most of the time.
So what I was saying was I don't think it's going to go to the extreme of a salary cap, but I think maybe like they got to look at this deferred money thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like if it's so far down the line that the owner's not even going to be alive. And I know it gets tagged onto the sale of the franchise and stuff, but like this is kind of getting ridiculous.
It's like deferred until 2099.
Let's defer it to the year 3012. Like they're kind of making a mockery of the system.
I would like to defer things myself.
Yeah,
I'm going to start saying
payments.
Major League Baseball's doing it.
0% APR, right?
0% APR. I'm going to defer all my bills and payments until 2059.
Yeah.
Why not?
It's weird. What the Dodgers are doing is if they don't win a World Series, it'll be absolutely hilarious.
Okay, wait. So how soon do they need a World Series to win it? Does it have to be this season or does it have to be within the next?
Well, Teoscar's a 1-year deal, so that tells you they Glasnow signed an extension, so he's there for 4 or 5 more years.
Right.
So Ohtani's there for life.
When do if they don't win a World Series in X amount of years?
If they don't win one in the next 2 to 3 years, I think it's an unmitigated disaster.
Mm-hmm.
I would say.
I think this year can get a pass because Ohtani's not pitching. That you might be able to say like it was a plan for the year after.
3 is like absolutely a laughing stock. 2, I'd say people are going to start pointing and laughing. So is that fair? If they don't win one in 3 years, that's a disaster.
So somebody posted the other day on Twitter and asked, over the course of the 10-year contracts, what is a minimum that they have to win? And to me, I think the answer is 1. Now, granted, people are going to have more than that. But I think if you don't win any, then yes, it's a failure. But even with the best players, like this Avengers Assembled type team, it's extremely hard to win championships. Sure. If you win more than 1, that's a blessing. But
so you're saying minimum 1.
This team has to win 1.
Oh, absolutely.
To avoid like the comedy that will ensue for decades.
Oh, yeah.
They can't.
Lots of memes.
Honestly, if they even get to the World Series and lose, it's a failure. I agree. They have to win at least 1 World Series. I know Jim Cunningham in the chat is saying in the next 2. I would say the pressure might even be on to win 2, though. But it's got to be at least 1
Their
for
rotation
sure, and it's got to happen in the next.
Is going to be silly.
I would say it's got to definitely happen in the next 2 years. I think if they don't win one within between 2024 and 2025. 2026 becomes a very like pressure-filled season where you might start to get some murmurs and other issues going on.
And I think on top of this, now this isn't me, and I don't know how you guys feel. I view all championships are championships. It doesn't matter how you attain them.
Yeah.
But there is still a portion of Major League Baseball fans that feel that the 2020 World Series has a stink to it because of the COVID-shortened season.
Yeah, a lot of people put asterisks on the 2020
That's the Braves, right?
No, it's the Dodgers.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
the Dodgers, right.
I don't feel that way about
Lakers,
the Dodgers. I don't feel that way
Dodgers.
about the Lakers.
Yeah.
I don't feel that way.
I don't
I don't remember who won the cup that year, but
Tampa Bay?
No, I do know this. Columbus Crew, I think, won that year.
No, I'm sorry. I'm talking
Not
about
the
the
MLS
Stanley
Cup,
Cup.
you soccer head.
The Stanley Cup.
It's the real cup.
But the
Wait,
Stanley
no, I
Cup.
think I know that too.
I think you are correct. The Columbus Crew may
Columbus
have
Crew,
won
I
in
think,
2020.
won it in 2020. It wasn't, no, because back-to-back was
The cup,
Avalanche.
she says.
Didn't the Avalanche win back-to-back?
No, the Lightning won.
No, the
2 and-
Lightning won
2 and
back-to-back. I
3.
think it was the Avalanche that won before them.
My point.
This is fun trivia.
My
This
point
trivia
being,
I like.
I don't think that it holds any. It doesn't hold any
It was
less.
the Lightning.
It was the Lightning.
Yeah.
Okay, it doesn't hold any less
The
water
cup.
for them
The
to
Columbus
win
Crew.
a shortened
Wrong
season. But if they don't
I had
win,
one right.
if they don't win in this stretch, people are going to pair.
Yes.
Failure plus your what they call the Mickey Mouse.
So when's the last time?
championship.
Yeah, because prior to
They're going to
2020.
stretch it for 40 years.
Okay.
Which is unfair, but they will do it.
No, you're right about that. I just got really excited because this is the one trivia apparently I can do. So, so I will say for the Dodgers, it's got to be, the other part of it is if they don't win the World Series, how they lose. Like that could be the only thing that buffers it. Let's say they get to the World Series back-to-back years and fail. They can at least sit on like, oh, we made it to the World Series, but they've got to win a World Series. Period.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like,
and the chat is talking.
if they're a first round exit or anything like that, then we're gonna get flames happening and pitchforks much sooner.
Yeah, and Jim, I agree with you. You know, it's so hard to win in Major League Baseball. I think you can make the case because there's so many contributing X factors to it. But the chat is kind of taken off on like, you know, the deferred money versus salary cap potential. I don't think they're ever going to do a salary cap, but what the chat is saying is they should do a salary floor, which I totally agree with. Like, you need to come up with that number. Let's just pick a number and say 75 million. Like, you have to spend that because the reality is, unfortunately for baseball, 80% of teams have no real chance to kind of ever win a title anymore. So it's something, you know, they got to figure out. But, you know, maybe if you are saving money and had some money to spend, you head over to FOCO. Because FOCO's got some great stuff, and we got a code for you to use, and that's code PHLY. Head over to FOCO because they're a leading manufacturer of sports and entertainment in merchandising with a product line that includes apparel, accessories, toys, collectibles, novelty items, and much more. They became Mr. Worldwide when they, splashed the MLB playoffs with their overalls this past year. They had some great football, ugly, and I do that in parentheses because it's actually quite nice looking, ugly Christmas sweaters, and they have the best officially licensed gear for all sports and fandoms. And it's tailgating season for some cities around the country, maybe not here. So if you need tailgating gear, overalls, hoodies, hats, sunglasses, bags, everything you need for the game, FOCO has hooked PHLY up and provided some awesome pieces for our set behind us. And FOCO always has our back for Philly sports, and they have yours too. Get the best gear around by using the link in our description right there on the screen. For all non-presale items, use the promo code PHLY10 for 10% off your order.
I'm going to dismiss and not acknowledge your Pippo reference. The chat is acknowledging it. That is enough. Good job, Jamie, of deciding to read the FOCO read at 12:45. But it was just National Bobblehead Day.
FOCO
Did you know that?
is Mr. Worldwide for all your merchandising and retail needs. Right?
It was just National Bobblehead. They had a deal over at FOCO for 50% off of bobbleheads. So some other quick news to touch on.
Yeah, we got to get to our farm.
Yeah, we got to move along here.
I'm
We're
excited
behind.
for Guess That Stance, which we're starting today.
So
you're gonna like
we
it.
are just 3 days away. I'm not. I'm not.
We
are just 3 days away from Shota Imanaga's deadline to sign. As of today, as the 45-day window is coming to a close, it's right now like it's like a creek barely open. Anyways, with today being day 42, the updates are this. So John Morosi reported on Sunday that he is continuing to draw interest from at least 5 teams. Imanaga's got interest from teams like the Cubs, the Angels, the Giants, the Red Sox, and Jim Bowden has reported those 4 as the finalists to sign him. Also, Mark Faisan recently included the Yankees and the Mets because why not add 2 more teams to that list? Mark Faisan reported that the Yankees and Mets are 2 other teams very interested. So it seems like we're not going to get an answer
Cubs got to do something,
soon.
right?
Cubs got to do something. Yankees may have to do something as well. The Yankees also are showing mutual interest in Marcus Stroman per Bob Nightingale. So there's been some Cubs, Yankees mentions, but once again, here we are, still waiting for Imanaga with just 3 days left. Do you think he gets signed before?
Well, the Yankees were also
5 o'clock p.m. Thursday?
John Heyman said the Yankees and Marcus Stroman, who's originally from Queens, have mutual interests. So, like, Imanaga, they're going to get somebody, like the Yankees.
I love when you repeat what I say.
Well, I'm tying it all together.
I literally just said that.
Yeah, well, okay. What? Jeez. Man.
It just makes me chuckle because
I'm reiterating your great point, Renee.
Okay, I like
so
that.
if they
I like
don't get
that.
Stroman, they might get Imanaga, but this all has to happen in what, 24, 48, 60?
That's the thing, 5 p.m. Thursday.
So, I mean, I would think like the Cubs, they're one of 2 teams to not do anything.
0.
Like, you got to do something. You want to like poke them with a stick and be like, you guys realize you're a major market team here? But the 40 to 5 day window does, put a timeline on this. So that'll be interesting to see where he ends up.
I mean, the Cubs, Rockies, and Marlins, as of last week, had all spent $0 in free agency so far.
That's
As we know,
wild.
the Cubs are the lone team. They haven't had a trade or free agency signing yet. And as you mentioned, Jamie, it makes me wonder, though, can the Yankees pull off Stroman and Imanaga in such a short time?
Doubt it, but you never know. I mean, they see the Dodgers gearing up for this arms race. They might just say like, yeah, F it. Go get both of them. I don't know.
I don't know.
Because it seems like the Yankees are reverting back to the Death Star and just spending. Like, you almost forget that Juan Soto became a Yankee this offseason.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, the Yankees haven't done much.
Yeah.
They actually have.
And still no Rhys Hoskins news. No rumors heating up. We'll see. I don't know.
Nothing.
I would imagine the Cubs are it. Our buddy Vince outside keeps yelling about him returning to the Phillies. I don't think that's going to be the case.
I don't think so either. It's not looking grand. All right, but what is looking good is down on the farm when the Phillies prospects get featured every day right on our show. And if you don't, well, now you know. When you're down on the farm with Jamie and Renee.
Is this how you spent your weekend?
No, I literally just made that up on the fly.
Oh, you did?
I did.
Oh, I thought that felt
No, I
like
literally just made that up right now.
That was pretty good.
I wish I could say that I practiced that, but I didn't. Do you know the song, though, that I was just the tune of that?
What is that? Remind
Come
me.
on, you're a dad of
I
2
know.
little.
I can hear it. Is it Raffi? Yeah. Which song is it?
I'm like, down by the bay.
Yeah.
Where
It's
the
Raffi,
water
right?
flow. Back to
I'm pretty
my
sure that's
home.
Raffi.
I don't know who actually. Oh, is that who sings it?
You
I
don't know
dare not
Raffi?
go, but if I do,
Yeah, that's Raffi.
my mother will say.
Raffi's. You talk about the real
There's-
Mr. Worldwide. That's
But
Raffi. Pitbull can go pound sand. Raffi's Mr. Worldwide.
I just want to clarify for the record. I make up every song on the fly. This is not.
That one felt like one you had maybe like taking some notes
and
on
I don't
this
even.
weekend.
I need to go back and watch it because I need to remember the
You're getting
words.
some,
Thanks, guys.
Some high praise there.
I don't come up with these songs. I'm not a wannabe comedian or artist or anything. Every joke, every song is on the fly. Not to toot my own horn or anything, but it's literally on the fly.
Yes, so
All right.
we are going to preview the top 25-ish because what we're using in this is Baseball America. We're using Fangraphs some. We're using Todd Zalecki and MLB.com's midseason prospect rankings last year. So there's no unified 25 front. There's a variation of the top 25, and mostly the top 10 is more or less the same, given a couple spots difference here. But we're going to use a combination of all those and do a top 25, 26 preview of the top Phillies prospects in the system. And we're going to start today. Renee, with what we're calling number 25. Who knows if we end up doing 26 or not. But we can always back him up to 26 if need be. And this is a guy I don't think anybody thought was going to be this low on the list this time last year. Coming in number 25 on the Fangraphs report is Griff McGarry.
Griffin Thomas McGarry.
He started last year at this time as the Phillies' number 3 prospect. The year before that, he was number 11. So he had, an accelerated rise last year, and he fell off of a cliff this past year. Still only 24 years old, 6'2", 190 pounds, as you see the image up on the screen. He was all over the place last year, low A, double A, ended the year in triple A to get a couple more innings pitched at the end of the year. 17 starts, 60 innings pitched, 6 ERA, 81 strikeouts, 50 walks, a 1.5 whip. Ew. His career in minor league baseball is a 4.4 ERA with a 1.299 whip. Again, ew.
So every single day, we're going to be doing a Down on the Farm segment where we're going to do a deeper dive into the list of prospects. I know in the chat, MBDBDBF's asking, didn't we do this last week? Actually, last week was kind of us tiptoeing out this concept we're going to do. We were just listing them, but we're actually going to go take a deeper dive into who they are. So Griffin Thomas McGarry, I'll give you some background information. Born June 1999 in San Francisco, California, was drafted in 2021 in the Phillies 5th round overall pick, 145 overall pick, I should say. Coming out of Virginia, has a brother, Matthew McGarry, was also, as Jamie mentioned, bounced around since 2019. We saw in 2019, McGarry was assigned to the Virginia Cavaliers, and from there went to the Phillies, the Clearwater Threshers, the Jersey Shore Blue Claws, the Reading Fightin' Phils, the Lehigh Valley Iron Pigs.
So here's the root of his
the Phillies
issue.
spring training last year.
Taking it back to college while he was at Virginia. And he was taken, as you said there, what was it, the 4th round or 5th round?
5th round.
5th round, pick 145. He was taken, perceived to be early by the Phillies, I guess on where he was projected to go, because his junior year at University of Virginia, he was pulled out of the rotation. All the coaches said, best stuff on the staff, pitching staff, starters or bullpen, hands down the best stuff. They pulled him from the rotation because Tyler, his walk rates per 9 in college was 8.8.
That's a walk-in inning.
8.8.
That's disgusting.
So he's one of these classic examples, and he's still 24, so you can't close the book on him, but he's one of these guys that just has unbelievable stuff with zero command or control. And you always take the shot on that guy because the stuff is the stuff. You can't duplicate stuff and nasty stuff. But if he can't figure out how to place his pitches this year, I think we're already at the point where we're talking about him as a bullpen piece, maybe even possible, back end of the bullpen piece. I think the days of hoping he's a starter for the future are more or less over. It could change here, but again, just great stuff. Hasn't been able to place the ball all the way back to college.
No, and that's the thing. He's been so inconsistent and up and down. Was named in July of 2023 with the Reading Fightin' Phils, the pitcher of the month. I mean, we haven't seen enough from him positively. It's been sprinkles here and there, dating back to, as you mentioned, even in college. And for Griff McGarry to try to make that leap with the Phillies or with anybody in the majors, you need to consistently be able to deliver. And that's why we saw him drop from number 4 prospect to number 25 prospect. So I actually, for Griff McGarry, I know people in the chat are saying he's 24 years old. When do we stop considering someone a prospect? What age is that? And I think Griff McGarry's days are numbered as a prospect because you either have it or you don't. And I think at this point, this is the year. Last year we saw him, and he was invited into spring training, but this is the year. And I think we are nearing the end for Griffin Thomas McGarry to really show that he can be a pitcher in the majors.
Yeah, here's his scouting grade report from Baseball America. McGarry has a 5-pitch arsenal that stacks up well against any pitcher in pro baseball. He's got a 4-seamer, a cutter, a slider, and they all grade out at 115 or better on the Stuff Plus models. His plus 4-seamer averages over 95 miles an hour and tops out at 99 from a low slot with a heavy vertical angle and plus spin rate. He added a cutter to his arsenal last season. It's mid-80s offering that tops out at 89 miles an hour with elite spin rates that had a 49% whiff rate and a chase rate over 34%. This is all tantalizing information to Tyler. His slider is a 3rd plus offering. It's a swing and miss pitch with a 2-plane break and plus spin rate that sits in the mid-80s. He rounds out his arsenal with a low 80s curve and a high 80s changeup. The organization has worked on making McGarry more directional towards home plate to improve his control and repeatability in his delivery, but there's still a timing issue in his delivery that causes strike throwing problems.
And again, this started back when he was with UVA, that at that time the Cavaliers coaching staff noticed that he had issues with his control, with his consistency, with his even confidence.
John Sequela has
Not
a name
great.
that like, I'm kind of like, yep. Same thing. Nick Pivetta had nasty stuff. He could never command and control his pitches well enough to become a great pitcher. And Baseball America goes on to say McGarry's stuff fits the top of the rotation type of guy, but his struggle with strike throwing and execution could limit him to a back-end starter or lockdown closer role. The Phillies still have confidence in his ability to start. So on the grade scale that scouts use, it's 20 to 80 on the scale. They grade his fastball as a 70, a curveball as a 50, slider as a 60, cutter as a 60, changeup as a 55, control at a 40. So if Griff McGarry doesn't end up making it, the control is the issue there, not the stuff. And you never want to give up on a guy like this, but as you said, age 24, like this is put up or shut up year for Griff McGarry. We'll find out what he is.
Yeah, I mean, his scouting grades all over the place, as you mentioned. But that control being at 40 that's concerning.
Ooh, that's
55 changeup too. But,
as MBD says, just a bit outside.
Yeah. Every single time. So, yeah, I mean, we're going to continue going down on the farm to check out the Phillies prospects. Each day we will be able to do a deep dive into who these guys are and taking a look at their stats, their background information, what got them to this point, and see essentially who can maybe actually be an addition that will help the Phillies in the future. But right now, Griffin Thomas McGarry, not so sure he's got the stuff, but this is his year. Prove it year.
Hypothetical, man. Send him to the Brewers. They'll figure him out. Certain teams do have that like capability, like the Astros, the Braves, the Brewers, of like doing a really good job of like figuring out and unlocking pitchers' mentals between the ears type of stuff. So, maybe he's still got enough stuff that he's an enticing trade chip.
You know who was strangely good at that for like almost a decade?
Brent Terry Strome.
Sure. Yeah, that sounds great. From like 2010 to like 2017, the Pirates had this like unreal string of like reclamation projects that worked. Well, no, but like Quintana's career rejuvenated, and oh my gosh, it was a veteran pitcher, and I can't think of his name off the top of my head now, and I'm blanking. But the point being, they had this like string of reclamation projects that all worked out, and it's why they were. I mean, granted, their lineup was stacked, and they let them all walk basically. But the point was, like, sometimes teams just have this weird ability to figure stuff out.
Yeah,
It's God.
Oh, I was going to say Charlie Morton was an example, like kind of got unlocked in Houston, Atlanta, and then went to Houston and really like exploded. And now we'll see, certain teams just have that ability.
Yeah, thank you, John. John saying his whole name makes him sound like
Francisco
a serial killer.
Liriano was who I was thinking of.
Yeah.
And Mickey actually,
It does sound serial killer-ish.
It does. Griffin Thomas McGarry. That's his name.
It does, yeah. Most serial killers are three names.
I feel like if we're gonna get to know these people, we need to know their whole government name. Because how do you get to know somebody based off of a nickname? Everybody calls him Griff. Did you know his full name is Griffin Thomas?
No, I didn't.
And he
I only
does
know
look
one
old.
Griffin life.
He does. The only Griffin I know is Gryffindor.
Oh,
Terrible joke.
But you couldn't help yourself.
I couldn't resist him. I had to do it. But Mickey was saying in chat he looks old, and that's what I said to you. We were talking about that.
Aged.
He's a hard 24. Like, he looks a little bit older, but that's maybe the stress of knowing your pitches are not under control.
40
All right.
control. Yeesh.
So And as we get ready to wrap up, because we were already at the top of the hour,
well, we got to get Tyler's
we've got
positivity
to
of the
get our
day.
positivity before we wrap up. Something else positive that happened on this day in 1995, Mike Schmidt was voted into the Hall of Fame in his first year of eligibility,
unanimous?
having gotten votes from 96.5% of the participating writers. So we will keep looking at the Hall of Fame updates around J-Roll, Chase Utley, what various outlets are saying about their chances of getting voted into the Hall of Fame. I know we will get there tomorrow. We will, guys. It's going to happen. We're going to talk about them. But some positivity from Tyler today for our positive thought of the day as we're manifesting some winning ways for the Phillies in all 2024. What is it,
Our
Tate?
positivity of the day is one guy that I thought was really good in 2023, but they bounced him around a lot out of necessity. Having a full season of Matt Strahm in the role that Matt Strahm should be in, I think is a positive for the Phillies. He started
Not a negative.
Started a handful of games in the beginning of the season out of necessity, went back to the bullpen, made a couple more starts, finally came back into the bullpen. And you could tell, like, as he settled into that lefty specialist role, he got better and better as the season went on, to a point where, if you remember that high leverage inning against the Braves in the playoffs, when they had exerted basically all of their other options, and you needed Strahm to come in and settle things down.
He really
did exactly that. I think having a full year of Strahm in the bullpen as another lefty,
That's a good point.
having two high leverage lefties is so paramount to success that I think that you can play off of him and Alvarado and match these guys up the way that they want, because Strahm is going to throw less innings. He's going to be in roles that suit him. And I think that that the breaking ball stuff it's so plus to me. Like, I think his stuff is legit. And if you're going to be able to match him in spots where he's not throwing 2 1/3 innings, and instead he's coming in to get 4 outs, or he's coming in to get 3 outs, on 4 batters. I think a full season of Matt Strahm as the role that he was intended to play is going to be big for the Phils.
Yeah. I know in the chat, people are saying they like that Mickey hypothetical man spiral out. Yeah, I do think overall, for consistency and for him having a stable role game in, for each game versus kind of moving from being a starter to a reliever, I do think that'd be a great way to manifest some positivity. I think that would help out tremendously for Matt Strahm. I know the Hall of Fame discussion starting. Yeah, it's interesting to watch the polls. We will do a deep dive because we've got lots of information to pull from and voting numbers and things that we'll share tomorrow around the Hall of Fame voting. I'm just going to keep saying it because that way we're going to commit to doing it tomorrow. But we do have one more thing before we wrap up. As we talked about, new year, new us on PHL Phillies podcast. I'm really not one of those people, believe it or not. But we do have some new things. So this is one of them. Now, Guess That Ballpark was fun. Lots of fun. I had a blast. Of course, we all had fun playing, even, depending on which side of the winning and losing didn't matter. We were all enjoying it. So we're going to do another trivia game. This time, Jamie picked one that he knows he's going to beat me at.
That's not necessarily true.
And this is Guess That Stands, where every show we're now going to be
fun. You don't?
No. But you guys will have fun, and I'm just here so I don't get fined. So with Guess That Stands, we're now going to
already
be
prefacing the loss.
I am. Listen, I know my strengths.
By the way,
I'm
monitoring cheating in this one.
I'm not going to cheat.
We're not playing the cheating game this
Listen,
time.
I'm not going to cheat. Before you guys all get your... I'm not going to say any of the metaphors.
I'm going to submit my answer on Slack.
Before you all get carried away and all the cheating scandals, I'm just going to be calm, cool, and collected. I'm not going to get flustered. I'm just going to throw a name out there. And whatever name I throw out there, we're just going to go with.
All right, you ready?
Yeah, sure.
All right, guys, I'm going to preface this one by saying,
oh, gosh.
Please.
Oh, wait. These are Phillies players dating back to 2006.
Yes,
correct.
We're only using
By
modern
the way,
day,
only
2006
Phillies
on.
players modern
We're
day.
not going back to Lefty O'Driscoll in 1918 and Pork Chaps O'Houlihan in 1912. Don't worry.
2006.
We're not going to torture you that much, Renee.
I'm begging you guys.
Oh, don't stop saying this because I feel like I'm going to overthink it and get it wrong now.
Get this one right.
All right. All right, I'm going to text Tyler my answer. I'll keep it out of Slack.
Please get this one right.
I hate this already.
Well, you could. All right.
See, what I don't like is you
John
guys.
Sequela said John Bowker.
What I don't like is the whole this is
forgot
gonna
about
be easy.
Well, all right. So
even if you don't know baseball, you should get this.
Here you go, Renee. I will tell you, it's a left-handed batter. You can tell that from the stands.
Yeah, I mean.
So that eliminates a lot of potential people.
Oh, my gosh.
There's 2, I think. But I already submitted. Oh, boy. What are we doing over here?
You know what? I'm just going to go ridiculous. I was going to go ridiculous.
He's one of my... He's a top 3 favorite all-time Philly.
See, I feel like I got to go semi-serious because you guys are going to make fun of me.
I think the best part of this game will be all the random... that random Philly that just comes out of nowhere. Like John Bowker. Like...
This is like the Paramount what do guys do when they're like hanging out, and it's literally my group of friends will just sit here.
That's why you guys like these games.
Who names the most obscure player wins?
Yeah. That's why you love What's the baseball grid? The
Immaculate Grid.
Yeah. Do you have an answer?
I already sent it to him.
Oh, okay. Let me check. All right.
I have a feeling we're both gonna get this one.
Wait, hold on now. Renee sent me 3 answers. One of them's way off.
Wait, I want you to...
I am not that hefty.
All right.
Tyler Zulli, did you say?
Yes. I did have an open stance.
Aren't you lefty?
Yeah. I had an open stance.
I just went with 3 lefties.
It wasn't that this is way more like balanced. Mine was very uptight.
Go ahead. You can give us the answer.
Okay.
Yay.
The big beast.
I got one.
One of my favorite all-time Phillies. Absolutely.
Yay, me.
He so I started my baseball love with Mike Schmidt, and he'll kind of like nostalgically always be number 1 in my heart. But like when Ryan Howard was on that 6-year historic kick, he was must-watch TV. It was like, I gotta be in front of like you would plan your kind of like in and out of the living room based on the Phillies lineup. Be like, okay, I got to go pick up dinner. I got to wait till the bottom of the order. Okay, the 5-hole hitter's up. I like Jason Worth. But all right, I'll run out and hopefully come back so you didn't miss Ryan Howard. I know Utley and Rollins are a lot of the chat's discussions right now. But Ryan Howard to me was just like the definition of must-watch television.
Yeah, I agree. And I love seeing him with his daughter out at the game. What was it, the Braves series? He was at Truist Park. That was fun.
With the Schwarber home run.
Yeah, that was awesome to see. But absolutely a big piece of Phillies history.
I see what you did there. And I didn't even text Tyler Ryan Howard. I just texted the big piece.
Me too.
Look at us. Look at us.
I actually slacked Tyler this time. 3 answers. I went with 3 lefties.
So Tyler Zulli, Ryan Howard, and Desi Relaford. Who was your third?
No.
Who?
Someone I'm probably going to answer for every left-handed pitch
batter.
Bryce. I'm gonna grade American Ballpark. Several answers for this, and Bryce is probably gonna be every lefty is gonna be Bryce.
You'll eventually get one.
Yeah, because one of them is gonna be Bryce.
Yeah.
So that was fun. Aren't we having so much fun, guys?
Look, you're 1 for 1. What are you sweating?
Well, I don't want to get too high because then I gotta when I lose, I'm gonna be able to. I don't want to get too low either. So that was fun. And we start off with Ryan Howard for our first Guess That Stands. We've got more of those. So we'll be doing that every single day. We also will be having our Down on the Farm prospect deep dive every time that we have a chance. We're going to give you guys a chance to learn more about some of the prospects. So every day we'll be doing that as well, I should say. It's our daily Down on the Farm, our daily Guess That Stands, and more. Plus, of course, we've got to talk Hall of Fame. So that's it for us. And what time is it? I feel like we did pretty good
109
on
no.
Crap.
No.
It felt earlier than it.
Well, Will said
we would have been good.
He wants a 2-hour show. So
yeah,
thank you.
You guys wanted a 2-hour show, so we're just getting closer and closer, apparently. But today was only a little over an hour, which is not bad, guys. Not bad.
For us, pretty good.
Yeah. Matt Deckard says I only get, wait a minute now. No, I get a point. The big piece was my first answer. My others were a joke. Alrighty, guys. Thank so much for tuning in. Hopefully you had fun today on our second week of 2024 as we rolled out some new things to do. Happy New Year, because Matt in the chat or Dave in the chat was saying they were surprised I haven't said it yet, and I hadn't.
Well,
happy New Year.
Second Monday of
and I heard somebody say Happy New Year outside.
Have you screwed up writing?
And I was so excited. No.
I don't even write the date that much anymore.
That's the thing. I don't write. I feel like we don't write anymore. But
when I still go to the bank to deposit checks occasionally.
You know, I had to go into the bank.
Did you think of me?
I did. I was like, Mom and Dad, guess what? I had to go in the bank.
I went into an actual bank.
I actually walked in and I had to fill out a deposit slip.
Oh, sometimes when I sell my bills in the mail, I'll write the date
rough.
on there.
It was rough. It was really rough, guys. I didn't like it at all. But here we are in 2024, still going into the bank, some of us. So thanks for tuning in. Hope you guys have a great rest of your Monday. Have a marvelous Monday. Hit that thumbs up button, like, subscribe, comment. We'll be back here at noon every single day this week. We also have special guests joining us this week, so be sure to tune in as we've got some guests ready to join the fun here at PHLY Phillies Podcast. So for Tyler, Jamie, myself, Renee, have a great rest of your day. We'll see you tomorrow at noon.
See ya.
We all silly like the mayor.